They say inflation is under control. The numbers are in. The economists are nodding. And yet, right across Jamaica, people are quietly breaking down. You go to the supermarket for a few basics and come home with less than you need. You check your light bill and feel a tightening in your chest. You pay your rent, and suddenly, payday feels like it happened yesterday. So, here's the big question many are asking. Cost of living crisis. Will it get worse? Because something isn't adding up, and it's not just in your wallet, it's in your spirit. Let's unpack what's really happening, and why, even in the middle of good news, so many Jamaicans still can't breathe. The lived experience. Inflation, they tell us, has dropped. Jamaica's official rate is 5.2%. That's inside the Bank of Jamaica's target. Core inflation, also down. The BOJ is celebrating. But for the average Jamaican, the only thing that feels stable is the pressure. Go on the road. Ask any mother with 2 children. Ask the pensioner collecting path. Ask the young man trying to save and rent a 1-bedroom. Everyone will tell you the same thing. Everything feels more expensive. Bananas cost more. Yellow yam is touching new highs. Tomatoes are now luxury items. Many are struggling with bus fares. And the light bill? Don't even start. This is what makes the situation so confusing. The numbers suggest one thing, but day-to-day life suggests something else. So who's right? The data or the people? The hidden truth? To understand this disconnect, you have to know something most people miss. Inflation measures how fast prices are rising, but it doesn't mean prices are going down. It just means they're rising more slowly. So yes, technically, the crisis has stabilized, but it hasn't ended. What used to cost you $100 now costs you $130. That's not going back. And what makes it worse? The things you must spend money on, like food, rent, light, and water, those are the ones climbing fastest. So, while economists cheer about controlled inflation, real Jamaicans are struggling to afford the very essentials of life. Why this is happening? The real engine behind the crisis. Now here's where it gets deeper. Because this cost of living crisis didn't drop from the sky, it has been built up over the years by both global forces and homegrown issues. Start with the global part. Jamaica buys almost everything from abroad. We import the flour we use for bread, the gas we use to cook, and even the oil that powers our homes and factories. So, when prices rise internationally, due to a war, a drought, or a broken supply chain, we feel it first, and we feel it hard. But the real story is what happens after the product reaches Jamaica. We add on layers of taxes, import duty, GCT, environmental levy, compliance fees, stamp duty. The list goes on. By the time an item lands on the shelf, it's been taxed 6 or 7 times. And you, the shopper, are the one paying for it. Now add in the fact that we still rely heavily on rain-fed farming. One hurricane, like Beryl last year, and food prices will go up overnight. That's what happened in 2024. Our agriculture took a hit, and it hit every single Jamaican dinner table. So, you see what's happening? Global prices push us, and our own weaknesses push harder. It's a double punch, and it keeps landing. But here's the part that should worry us most. The real crisis may not be what's happening right now. It's what's coming next. Because Jamaica still hasn't fixed the things that make us so vulnerable in the first place. We're still not growing enough food. We're still paying one of the highest electricity rates in the region. We're still importing goods with no break for local producers. So yes, today might be rough. But tomorrow? That depends on whether we finally change course or keep patching holes in a sinking boat. Who is feeling it the most? If you've ever had to choose between paying the light bill and buying food, this crisis needs no explanation. For low-income families, every new month starts in survival mode. For the elderly, even with the social pension increase, the money doesn't stretch. For single parents, bus fares and lunch money eat up everything. And even for people with jobs, good jobs, the pressure is relentless. This isn't just an economic issue. It's emotional, it's psychological, it's spiritual. It's a silent grief of knowing you work hard but can't move forward. Is anything being done? To be fair, there are efforts underway. The government has increased funding to PATH. They've boosted the social pension. They introduced the Solidarity Program, a one-time $20,000 grant for people who don't qualify for anything else. And they're adding more solar panels to government housing so light bills can drop. These are helpful moves, but let's be honest, they are short-term lifelines, not long-term solutions. They help people survive, but they don't help them live. So, will it get worse? Here's the answer that few will tell you. The worst may be over, but the struggle is not. Prices are not expected to fall. They'll just rise more slowly. That means food will still cost more next year than it did last year. So will your electricity cost. So will rent. The government can manage inflation. However, unless we address issues such as agriculture, electricity, and taxation, the high cost of living is likely to remain. This isn't about short-term pain. It's about whether we build a Jamaica where people can thrive, not just survive. 4 facts you need to know. And before we close, here are 4 things that should give you pause. First, Jamaica imports over $1 billion in food every year. That's a food security nightmare. Second, our electricity rates are among the highest in the Caribbean. Third, our inflation is lower than Haiti's or Suriname's, but our prices still seem high due to the taxes we impose and our lifestyle. And fourth, some islands, such as Barbados and those in the Eastern Caribbean, receive support from a fixed US dollar peg. Jamaica doesn't. We are walking alone. So why are prices still climbing, even when inflation is down? Because the real issue isn't inflation anymore. It's the structure of our economy. We've fixed the roof, but the house still has cracks, and rain is still getting in. Until we repair the foundation, food, energy, imports, and wages, we'll keep feeling the weight, even when the numbers look good on paper. If you're feeling it, if your bills are rising, if your paycheck disappears too fast, hit that subscribe button, because we're here to bring you clarity, truth, and maybe, just maybe, a way forward. Let's build a Jamaica where our people don't just work harder, they live better.